fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and deceit. We're done for good with the toxicity. All hail Fangs, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail Fangs, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail Fangs, we are the Rabyd Nation. We are the Rabyd Nation.
All right, a hearty welcome to all of you in the Rabyd Nation. Welcome one and all, whether you're a tourist or a citizen. Welcome, 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 and Merry Fangsmas to all of you. Welcome and being here. So here we go. But welcome one and all. I'm your host at Rabyd, former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist, with all of you here on a Wednesday evening. I don't normally broadcast on a Wednesday because, but Christmas is tomorrow, so I'm going to have to move forward a day because I am going to be way too busy tomorrow with family and stuff. So I'm gonna do our Deconversion Hangout tonight, special edition, Christmas Eve special edition. So here we are, and some of you are already in Christmas. The globe keeps turning, and so some places are already Christmas, some places are Christmas Eve. So here we go. All right, so there you go. But tonight, this is Deconversion Hangout, so I'm going to keep the Deconversion Hangout rules in place. You got to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes. It gets rid of my drive-by theists. Of course, no preaching, no quoting of Bible verses except by the host and others. So there you go. But yes, I think what we're gonna do tonight, I got a couple very short videos that I might react to. I've also got some fan art, mostly by Martin. I think most of it's by Martin using some AI that I've received over the last few months. Kind of want to talk about that. Earl will probably be along at some point, and she's supposed to have some art, possibly. I'm not going to put any pressure on her because she does that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't really have a time limit for the stream. I'm off tonight. Normally I'm not. So, but I'm off work tonight. They're actually going to close Walmart for a day. So I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, I don't pressure her so much. No, I don't. All right. Well, let's get a roll call. Fred was here. Merry Bunnymas Fluffers. May your day be excellent. There we go. So Senator Fred has made his presence known. Evan is here as well. Merry Squidmas. There you go. That's good. Michael is here. Fluffy Fangs miss everybody. There we go. Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm talking. Paul's here. Okay. Merry Antichristmas. Okay. Martin is here as well. Cranky Elder God. Tourist citizen. There you go. The elder gods never show up without an ulterior motive, do they? Trying to get some food, basically. And Wolf Sinclair is here as well. All right. I think that's everybody in chat. See, yeah, we got the thing about art for me is I do not like to rush artists. At the same time, I tend to also enjoy art very much, but I also realize that if you pressure artists too much, they often don't do their best work. There's Ron. Ron has finally joined us. Welcome. So we're here tonight to, I guess, have a little good time. I know the name of the person in this video may trigger some, but the person is dead, so perhaps it won't be that bad. So, I mean, and I don't, it's Christmas soon, so I mean, I'm supposed to have angels, and the closest I could come with the Rabyd Atheist, of course, is the circumcised carrot angel. So there's that. Okay, but yes, there's a little video I found by a guy that some of you may know by the name of Pat Robertson, who talked about Christmas one year in answer to a question about Christmas being pagan. So, so there's that. But yes, so I wanted to react to this because it's one of the few times I see Pat Robertson actually being honest. So about the origins of Christmas and all that stuff and how Christians have done things with it. Now, there's a lot of debate about this topic. I just like to point out to Christians most of the time that paganism and pagan practices are older than theirs. And yeah, I know it's a novelty. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Merry Sciencemas. Oh, that's a good one too. We do Merry Fangsmas around here. Fangs is, I'm sorry. I think Fangs fits the original pagan holiday so well. Although his holiday is probably pretty much Easter. So, I mean, the foreshadowing is obvious. So, so let's have I also found another video where the guy does a better job, I think, explaining it, plus having a little fun with the Peanuts characters. So I thought that one was good. So we may show that one too. But I want to put up Pat here, and we're going to talk about whether Christmas is pagan or not. So, so here we go. Oh, hold on. Let me freeze that. And then we're going to put him up here. There's a face I haven't seen in a while on CBN. Hope I don't trigger anybody here. But Pat's about to answer a question about Christmas. And he's actually going to be honest. He's going to be honest.
All right.
Okay, this is David, who says, we have friends who do not celebrate Christmas because they say December 25th is really a pagan holiday. While I agree that Jesus may not have been born on December 25th, he certainly was born as described in the Bible. How do I respond to them?
Okay, well, first of all, let me respond to this question. Let people celebrate Christmas the way they want to, because there's a little bit of accuracy in the fact that it's a pagan holiday mixed with Christian traditions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I know. That's why I warned everybody. I warned everybody, Michael. I did. Someone's Christmas present. Sure. Not sure. That's okay, Kyle. Here's the problem with battleships, though, by the way, because I've actually, this is something I studied from a governmental point of view. Battleships are very, very expensive. There's a reason why we don't build them anymore. One, aircraft carriers are much more effective and much more versatile. And in some ways, they get more bang for the buck than a battleship does. That's why battleships aren't that popular anymore. There's a few of them still left out in the sea, but I don't think there's very many. And so Trump is just being a boomer. He doesn't understand the military very well. But getting back to our guy, Jesus may not have been born on December 25th. That's yeah, highly unlikely. I mean, you got a 1 out of 365 day shot, but I don't think anybody really knows when Jesus was born. So you got a general idea. How do I respond to these people? I don't know. If they don't want to celebrate it because they think it's a pagan holiday, I think that's kind of their choice. But okay. But was he born as described in the Bible? Probably not. I think it's made up later. So there you go. Yeah, it's a salute thing. Don't get me wrong. I have a friend who's in the Navy, and he has a couple other Navy buddies, and I talked to them, and one of them had served on a battleship. Like, he's an older gentleman, and he's like, "There's nothing like being on a battleship when all the guns fire." He says it's a symbol of power that you can't duplicate. So there you go. But yes, all right. So how is Pat going to respond? I know I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I just thought Pat, bringing back, we're going to pull out Pat's corpse out in a little bit and let him talk for a bit. So, so there you go.
Well, in a sense, tell them they're right. You see, the winter solstice a couple of days later was the shortest day of the year, and the pagans had something called Saturnalia. And it was a time of lawlessness because all the laws were suspended. And people, a bunch of singers were actually wandered the streets naked singing. And then they had...
Oh no. Naked people singing? How horrible. Pat's reaction here is always classic to me. Like whenever he talks about like sexual things and stuff like that, it's like he always has this. There's always this classic note of how dare you? Yeah, naked humans. Ooh, yeah. So, but yes, Pat always has this reaction to like nudity and sexual issues where he's just like, it's crap. It's, it's like, oh my goodness. I know, Josh, it sounds like a good time to me. Yeah. Fun is always sinful. Yeah. It's kind of like anything that people were doing for fun back then. It's a time of lawlessness. There's definitely some traditions in Saturnalia that are kind of lawless in a certain respect, but you still weren't allowed to go around and kill people for the most part. I think there were certain laws that were still in vogue, but there was a lot of things going on. So you liked when Pat was depicted on Dark Matter? I did too, Ron. I did. Classic stuff. I think so. So they were Lucy Lawless, yes. What were they, Lucy Lawless? I have no idea. But Pat always has this reaction to nakedness. I always found it interesting. Like he always has to mention it.
Orgies, sexual orgies. It was
once again, sexual orgies, is like, oh no, society is collapsing. People are having a good time. How dare they? So
mass thing. Well, when the Catholic Church came along in Italy, the Romans and others didn't want to give up their holidays, so they said, okay, we'll Christianize it. And so they said, okay, we'll say the birth of Jesus was the 25th of December. And then there was a monk who began to add it up. You see, if you read in Luke, it says there's a census taken when Quirinius was governor and so forth and so on. And they could take those leaders and figure the exact time dating from the foundation of Rome. And that's when the dates were established.
Yeah, well, he's completely wrong about this part, though. The whole Quirinius as governor thing is kind of a big boo-boo in Luke. We know for a fact that Luke is completely misinformed there. So it gets really fun, but the idea of figuring out when all these people were born and when they died based on the Quirinius quote is kind of hilarious to me, but that's not the issue at hand, is whether it was pagan. I don't know if God actually has fun. The way I've written Yahweh in me and Earl's book, he's not a fun guy. He likes to have fun, but he doesn't like it when other people have more fun than he is. So it's like it's a narcissistic thing. So yeah, as opposed to non-sexual orgies. Yes, unsexual orgies, I don't know how to do it. But has a full dress suit under his clothes, thank God. Yeah, I don't. Thank you, but no, I don't know. Could be. But yes, like the one embarrassment for the Gospel of Luke is that he has absolutely the wrong governor. Like it's bad. Like it's an historical. You'll have apologists say that I'm wrong about that, but no, it's not. Yeah, he's kind of that way. He likes to have fun at other people's expense. So you and me have had that discussion before, Cranky, that Yahweh's kind of he likes to have fun, but he doesn't want to. Yeah, it's a big boo boo. But yes, he likes to have fun, but it's like BDSM with no safe word for Yahweh. So yeah, he definitely had plenty of fun with Job too. So there you go. But thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. Yeah, probably not the same guy. No. But so what we have Pat here doing is actually being honest about the origins of Christmas, which is, it is very much a pagan thing. So.
And so they get pretty close to the date But to say it's the 25th, shepherds were out abiding in the field. It gets a little cold at night. I mean, were they out there in the middle of winter? You know, I don't know. I've been out there on the shepherds.
Pat here kind of doesn't seem to realize that a Mediterranean climate might be different than a Four Seasons climate at this point. Like, that's kind of the problem with doing Palestine as far as weather, because it's not the same. Like, you know, sure, you got snow-capped mountains, but that's because of altitude. But it's like it's not quite the same. Okay, it's not quite the same. So there you go. I don't know if they had nude shepherds, because, you know, they're just so there you go. But yes, but Pat doesn't seem to realize that weather is different in different places of the world. So, you know, there's different climates. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, he doesn't seem to get the idea. Yeah, he's not probably the one to talk about that. I mean, if you're going to make something distasteful, have Pat talk about it, especially if it's something sexual or nudity related. He'll definitely cure you if that's your problem.
Field on Christmas Eve, it's very nice, but it's cold. And nevertheless, I mean, what was going on? So all this business about mistletoe, pagan, Christmas trees, pagan.
Yep, mistletoes, Christmas trees, definitely pagan. Definitely have pagan origins.
Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit.
Well, you could at that point say you were emulating the wise men giving gifts to the baby Jesus. But I'm sure if the church had really wanted to work the gift angle, they could have said, hey, you need to give gifts to the church. So, but yes, it's nice for Pat to be honest about certain things. And this is one of the few times he's being honest.
Of it is pagan. Every single bit of it is pagan. We've Christianized it all. And so that's good. And so we have time, we celebrate for Jesus. Everybody gets all misty-eyed. But the truth is, they're all pagan.
We get to talk about baby Jesus. There's more missing than the toe. Yeah, that's probably true. Thanks, Josh. Heliocentric, he thinks it's a patio-centric, at least with the weather. Yeah, like the climate of Palestine, the area, you know, where Israel is today and all that, is very, very different because of the Mediterranean Sea. Like it's farther south than most pagans that would celebrate Saturnalia. So, so it's a different, you know, does it get cold there? Yeah, it gets cold at night, mostly because it's like desert in large parts of it. So, and the desert doesn't have a lot of things to hold in the heat. So, like other climates have. So it's interesting that he makes that reference. Well, I don't think he was born in it because it would have been too cold. There's shepherds out in the field and it's too cold for that to be the case. And it's like, okay, Pat. Okay. So, yeah. So there you go. Was this Stin as the curse? I don't know. That's one of the jokes I used to hear when he was still alive. And I'm like, you know, that's fair. It's fair. So, because I remember the Crypt Keeper, and I'm like, yeah, there you go. Hey, Triple E, thank you very much. Hey, we're already like three donations into this, and the Santa hat is winning by a large margin. So apparently, we're all more in a festive mood. So there we go. JC is the best American. Yeah, I remember that because I remember when Pat ran for president. Yeah, that wasn't good times. But at least he's being honest about the fact that Christmas is mostly pagan practices. Hey man, how you doing? Oh my God, how you doing, Coyote? Oh, and Fred is like trying to push this quickly. Okay, fair enough. People want me to wear the hat early, I guess. I'll tell you what I will do, Evan. Whoever wins, I will show all the rest of them so you know what they're all about. Because I'm probably going to keep these Christmas / holiday hats going until probably a little bit after New Year, just so you can vote on them again. So, but yes, there you go. And we still need one more donation, so we'll hold off on that. But yeah, I'll keep it going. Bring him here. I was in the audience on the 7 o'clock back in the 80s. Really? Yeah. Yeah, but Pat is actually being honest about the origins of Christmas, that it's pagan. I got another video that kind of goes through the history of how Christianity took over Christmas, done by, what is it, True TV. There's a guy named Adam there that has done some videos on the true origins of holidays and stuff. So I thought they were kind of good. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep the things rolling, the holiday hats rolling, and probably till after New Year. So, doing great, getting ready for a week. All right, well, there you go. Yeah, Merry Krampusmas. There we go. You're waiting for the 3 minutes. There you go. All right. Well, okay. So Pat's openly admitted, yeah, it's pagan. It's got pagan origins.
But the birth of
practices, but the intent of the heart is what it's about.
Exactly. So we have Christian.
Okay, folks. Now this is what I really wanted to talk about tonight, because this is what bothers me immensely. Halloween, absolutely pagan holiday. Okay. Christmas, pagan holiday. 2 pagan holidays, absolutely pagan. And yet, when it comes to Halloween, oh no, you can't celebrate Halloween. It's completely pagan. It's completely satanic. You just can't do it. Christmas, also pagan. But it's really the matter of the heart. It's really the matter of what you really are celebrating. All of a sudden, because it's Christmas and baby Jesus is involved, we have this sudden, I don't know, we're gonna, hey, lighten up, dude, about Christmas being pagan, but we won't do that for Halloween. And I don't get it. Okay. It's like, we don't want to do pagan practices. We don't want to do that. But the moment you tell people about the pagan origins of a lot of the practices during Christmas, they let it slide. They let it slide every time. But if you talk Halloween with any good fundamentalist Christian, they're like, oh, you shouldn't celebrate Halloween. It's a satanic holiday and blah, blah, blah. And that's probably why it's become my favorite holiday, because Christians haven't figured out a way to monetize Halloween that well. So, oh, minutes, not meters. Oh, okay. All right. There you go. Holidays is a dose of holly. There you go. Refused to. Yes, there is some Christian. I'm going to get into that later with the other video. Christmas actually once upon a time was banned in the United States a long time ago. Well, in North America, I should say, in the English colonies. And it's interesting who did the banning. So, the T-posting repel vampires. I don't know. Could. Make it run a bit. Okay. All right. We'll do it. But yeah, I'm just flabbergasted at the disconnect between the 2 holidays. It is very interesting.
All these things. We give gifts in the name of Jesus. We celebrate his birthday, and it's a nice thing. And so I'm very delighted, and I like Christmas, but I tell you, the best Christmas I ever spent in all of my life, my best Christmas all of my life was spent in Jerusalem when we had no Christmas ornaments, none of this stocking, none of this, all this stuff. But on Christmas Eve, we stood in Shepherd's Field and we sang, "O Little Town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie." And the next day we had a service, and on Christmas Day we baptized about 50-some people in the Jordan River. That was a wonderful Christmas.
Amen.
All right. Okay, thanks for those questions. I hope.
Okay, so that's the end of Pat here. Cromwell. But yeah, I told you it'd be short, I have to put it, but I was refreshed when I was going through all, like, if you type the pagan origins of Christmas and Christians talking about it, you will get a gazillion videos about this. And so I saw Pat's face and I'm like, well, I hate to resurrect a dead man, but here we go. Um, it's, I find it always interesting because from a deconversion point of view, I have to deal with the holidays like everybody else. Like tomorrow, I'm going to visit my grandchildren and some of my children, and I'm giving presents to the grandkids because they're the only cool ones left. My adult children and their significant others have become boring because they become adults. So, and I find kids to be far more cooler. So I'm giving out the gifts, I'm doing all the things, and you have to deal with, like, a lot of you have to deal with your family on Christmas. Like, what are you celebrating Christmas for as an atheist? I don't know. You guys kind of stole it, so I'm going to go back to the real origins of it. I don't know. I know running naked in the streets, singing naked in the streets, orgies. That doesn't sound like too bad a time, I guess. Did you pat his face? Oh my gosh. Aren't allowed to celebrate. It's because they don't believe in Christians, aren't allowed to celebrate because it's a pagan holiday. Yeah, so we might as well just all dump it. Let's go back. Let's all go back to being pagans. That sounds like a much more funner holiday. So I know what it like living in the North, okay, where there are 4 seasons and I deal with the winter. I now absolutely understand why people would have a big party celebration in the middle of winter. It's to get past the winter doldrums of being inside your house all the day with all the people that you supposedly love, but after about 3 months, you want to choke them. I can absolutely understand why let's go light a bunch of big fires in the center of town and and get out of here for a while. The cabin fever is real. So yeah, I am about the same too. The thing about Pat that bothers me so much, Ron, is the man literally made a lot of money sitting behind a desk, talking to people, telling people what real Christianity was, et cetera, et cetera. He did that for a long time, like a long time. Like, and it just bothers me. So, yes. It's an interesting form of necromancy, isn't it, Cranky? I mean, when I play Skyrim, I've resurrected a body I've resurrected before, so a couple of times. Like, you have certain followers you can keep resurrecting over and over again. So, I suppose it's kind of true. Those are a lot of claims with no evidence, but I appreciate your efforts into getting into my stream. But yes. Can you overset? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I think that's number 6. All right. But yeah, that's a bunch of claims, and you have absolutely no proof of that. So good luck. All right. Well, it looks like the Santa hat is the clear winner. So there we go. Goal achieved. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you, for Josh and Triple E and Fred and Martin. Thank you all very much. Appreciate all of you. So here we go. But yes, there you go. So I'm going to remove Pat. I actually want to talk about somebody who actually knows, like, the full origins of Christmas and how it's been handled and how we got to the Christmas today. And so I'm going to put this guy on. I also appreciated this video. I hope I don't get, like, demonetized because there's a little bit of music in it, and hopefully YouTube will be able to remove the bad parts. But I kind of like this guy on True TV. Adam has a way of putting history in front. So if you want to know the true origins of the Christmas holiday, this is pretty close Like he can't deep dive. I also appreciate the fact that Adam decides to go animated, looking very, very suspiciously like Charlie Brown. So, oh, necromancy sucks. Yeah, he plays Skyrim too. Yeah, but I role play pretty hard with Skyrim, and that the hardest part of role playing Skyrim these days is I know so much about the game and I've been so many places. Like, actually, would my character know that becomes a really good one. So, but yeah, I've been delving into Skyrim too. It's probably winter time and there's snow in Skyrim, so that's kind of where the attraction. But I want to go through this little video because I think he does a better job. Kind of explaining things. So, and there's one issue that I've always loved about Christmas is the people who actually succeeded to ban it on the North American continent is actually in this video. So there you go. Again, exactly. Yeah, but the origins of Christmas are actually between Yuletide and Saturnalia and all the other stuff. I was watching another video on this subject of Christmas, and the guy literally said, oh no, pagans began to celebrate Christmas on December 25th after Christians had started it. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't care about it either. But yeah, it's like, it's interesting that Christians have this certain view about Christmas. And I love going into the religious mindset of tradition, Cranky, because tradition has a way of biting us in the ass the longer you keep it. So yeah, we will rock us. Okay. Yeah, true story. True story. It's a fun fact for Skyrim. Let's see. We have a lot of answers for those. I'm certainly not qualified to answer all those questions, but the one thing that you can question me all you want, but this is kind of presuppositionalist apologetics, like somehow your answer is true and I have to prove you wrong. I'm sorry, you're the one that's saying God exists. That's a positive claim. Prove that God exists. I mean, this sounds like the prelude to a lot of God of the gaps. So you need to be careful around my mods, especially on a Deconversion Hangout night. So I don't generally ban people, but they will. So, hey, Asso, glad you came up. Good to see you. I haven't seen Earl yet. Oh, basically, when you look at the history of Christianity and yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to get timed out quite a bit. Keep it up. But yeah, I've always found it interesting how Christianity would compromise with local practices and traditions just to keep the peace and just to keep the Christianity tithe money flowing to the churches. So there you go. Yeah, the creation of the universe doesn't require a God either. So that's fair. So there you go. And you have to kind of prove that it does. So yeah, it's a funny way of saying plagiarize. Yeah. Like when Pat was talking, he talked about the mistletoe and the tree and the garland, and that's all very pagan stuff. Okay. And Christians put that stuff up in their house all the time. They don't think anything of it. The bright lights, you could probably say, is a Hanukkah thing. Like what we celebrate in the holidays is kind of a mishmash of a lot of different things. And I think this video kind of points out the truth of that. Like he's like sitting there, hey, you can still go do what you want if you make it about Jesus's birthday instead of, whatever your pagan things is. Is evidence for the absence of I would say the way that the world is it doesn't really show a lot of intelligent design, actually. Just look at human beings. There's not a lot of intelligence in that design. Kind of basically true. There was like The Purge, the movie series, is kind of based on some reality here in England. Like there was definitely some some purge-like elements to the festival back in the day. So, the rich people would hire extra guards for Christmas. So I remember reading that, and I'm like, oh, that's where they got the idea of the purge from. Yeah, some people get too serious and some people get fuddy-duddy. Yeah. Aim for the jugular, not for humanity in general. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you look at human design, like, if this is a design, the engineer needs to get fired because there's a lot of things that could be done better and more efficiently. True story. The only people to ban Christmas on the North American continent were the Puritans, Christian Puritans. It's a true story. I think they managed to ban it for like 10 years. So the medieval times were already like a purge. Yes. But yes, like the whole thing. I'm a little behind on the Pat Robertson current, so I need to go back and watch. Well, okay, yeah. I just tell you, Dragon Rider, I'm not trying to shock anybody, but I think Pat Robertson actually told the truth for once when he talked about Christmas on that one. So, so there's that, and then there's Eric. But yes, but yeah, I always love the point in this point in the video, and I'm zipping right through this one because I just wanted. To me, this is probably the shortest but best explanation of how we got to where we are with Christmas and where it comes from and the different changes that have taken place over the years. So, but yes, well, Merry Fangsmas to you. I'm trying to keep the Christ out of Christmas and put fangs in. So Merry Fangsmas. So there you go. But yes, the Puritans banned Christmas. They were there. As far as I know, they're the only people on the North American continent to make Christmas illegal. So there you go, because it wasn't very. I love that part. How from the non-believer, former Christian will still celebrate Christmas. Do we got surveys on that? I don't know. I know what I did. I can tell you my story of how to deal with Christmas because I still go over, like I said it earlier, that tomorrow I'm celebrating with my family, of course, in the morning. My daughter puts on a great Christmas breakfast. She has this dessert breakfast dish that is like, it ruins my diet every year. I'll just put it that way because it's just that good. And she does a really good job with it. And, we exchange gifts and all that stuff, although I only give to the grandkids anymore. And I told my kids, get more entertaining and be more fun, and I'll give gifts to you again. But so yeah, probably the 19th century rather, I would say. Yeah, but yeah, as different people immigrated to the North American continent, they brought their Christmas traditions with them, and the Puritans lost a lot of their power. So yeah, bang on a rich person's door and demand stuff, or you're allowed to get violent. Need to get back. You're hoping to meet the three wise gym bros. You might find them. I used to go to the gym a lot. I liked the gym, and I used to think that none of the gyms I were ever in, Michael, was ever stereotypical. So, it was giving away land in the West. Yeah, it's probably, yeah. Christians hated these. He's ignoring the fact that Christians participated. Yeah, I think so too. But there were certain Christians groups that still to this day cranky hate Christmas and won't celebrate it. Like, when Pat's dealing with that question in the other video, he's dealing with a real Christian, probably. I don't know, I'm trying to date it based on what's in the background and how old Pat looks. The problem is Pat looked really old for like 2 decades straight. So, so there you go. But yeah, there are people still to this day that are Christians that take a very puritanical view to it. So this secular celebration, meeting out food, presents. Yep. You can still do it culturally. That's kind of what I do. Like I prefer Yuletide. So I just happen to meet with the family on the 25th to celebrate Yuletide. Yeah, I think some people do that, Kyle. Here's the thing. I think there are some people who deconvert who have a very negative aspect of Christian holidays, and so they avoid the Christian holidays. And I can absolutely understand why that's the case. If you have like very negative associations with the holidays, yeah, I can see if you're deconverting and you don't want to have anything to do with it. Absolutely. Oh, Luigi comes back knocking, you better duck. But yes, I can absolutely understand somebody who does avoid, that's a deconverted person. Absolutely. I think the funniest thing about Christmas is that the wise men supposedly knew where it would happen and celebrated it, and then everyone completely forgot. Well, that's the thing. Like, Pat was going big on how the Gospels were historically accurate. And, he's like pulling out the census by Quirinius when he was governor of Syria, supposedly, in Luke. And it's like, that's one of the most obvious boo-boos that the Gospels make when it comes to history. And so, even back then he should have known that, but he's not going to admit that. And he's certainly not going to put that on his show. So not on the Christian Broadcasting Network. She didn't get exactly what she wanted. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Christmas has always been a secular. I really honestly think, Paul, that Christmas was always like this local cultural celebration of whatever thing you want. I mean, when you study astronomy, even primitive astronomy back in the day, you can tell when the shortest day of the year is when the longest. Although for people like Fred in Australia, it's kind of backwards to the rest of us. To them, it's perfectly normal, but to us, it's backwards. So. Yeah, and then there's Herod. That's kind of a big boo-boo too. So stayed home and didn't go. That's probably true, Michael. Oh, yeah, the passed down oral tradition is perfectly passed down. Couldn't somebody write that down? That was always one of the things that bothered me about the wise men. It's like, you have these people that are scholarly, they're obviously literate. Why didn't they write it down and proclaim it? One of the great frustrations for me, has been throughout the years when it comes to dealing with the Gospels, is there are so many people that could have wrote other things down, but it never happens. Like, it does not happen. It doesn't go down that way. It's not a thing. Like, they have the ability to do it like the wise men, but they don't, for some reason, God doesn't inspire them to write anything down. It's gonna too busy to look up. The thing about the wise men story, the reason I think Matthew includes it, and this is my personal theory, and there's a lot of theories. So, but I think we all know that each gospel writer writes with their own agenda. Now, Mark doesn't have a Christmas story, so we can't yell at Mark because he starts with the ministry of John the Baptist and moves on from there and doesn't even have a resurrection narrative. But when you get to Matthew and Luke have completely different Christmas stories. Like, the characters are the same, but none of the events overlap. Like, it's weird. But the wise men's story is specifically designed to make Herod look bad. Like, Herod, Matthew definitely probably deals with the Herodians more than anybody else, because there were a lot of people back then. And there's an old Apologia video from a year or two ago where he talks to one of the scholars about this, where Herod was basically claiming to be the Messiah. And so there were a lot of people after his death that still believed that Herod was the Messiah. And so Matthew is like one of the few gospel writers that actually goes after the Herodians quite a bit. And part of it, including that story, he's trying to attack the Herodians with that Herod wasn't the fulfillment of the prophecy, somebody else was. So it's like, it's definitely on purpose, probably partially made up narrative, like probably mostly made up narrative, because it seems like if that was such a important thing, have one of Herod's chroniclers record it as well, and then you'd have collaboration of the events, and you don't. So Yeah, it could. Wise guy. They all kind of Christmas. And for me, the people of the country, New Year is one of the most important holidays. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like it. I mean, I think you can secularize Christmas pretty hard and still celebrate it. A lot of people, I was talking to a guy at work yesterday, a lot of people celebrate different days for Christmas, but it's like the season. So that's why I kind of go Yuletide, because Yuletide is the season of the year. And so I'm good with it. Yes, I roll my eyes at being secular. Like, dude, have a blast. Nobody's stopping you, but it's still Christ mess. Now, some by people aren't at least culturally Christmas. Yes, have fun, but still a culturally Christian thing. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, and that's fine. I'm good with it. I'm like good with these people like doing whatever they want to do. It's just I think one of the greatest mythologies that has been perpetrated in the last decade or so is they're not letting us say Merry Christmas anymore here in the United States. What a load of shit. I was never, when the biggest part of the height of that controversy was going, I was working at the world's largest brick and mortar, and there was no communique to tell us what to say at that time, like whether to say Happy Holidays or Christmas. It's the biggest joke. Like, oh, we can say Merry Christmas again because Trump's president was something I just saw. And I'm like, you can say Merry Christmas before. So it's like nobody would ever, I don't remember a decree, people stopping it and saying you couldn't do it anymore, ever. Any company, anything. I don't know. I think that's like the biggest myth in the last 10, 20 years about it. Here was a friend of Rome. Went all messianic, and Rome had to put him down. He died of old age. It was the other Herods that got in trouble. But the one guy that claimed to be the messianic guy was like this big dude. He's Herod the Great. Herod the Great, also the Herod the Builder. He kind of pulled Palestine into the modern world of Rome, and then his kids kind of screwed it up. So exposed to it. Non-Christians, I know. So I'd like to be three wise men from China, Russia, and Venezuela come to bless you. Oh, Ron. Okay, Dapper Dinosaur says Merry Christmas for many days to account for Orthodox Christians and those who still use the old calendar. Yeah. Okay, all right. So I was wondering when that started, but honestly, Cranky, have you ever heard of any company or the country or state or whatever telling you in the United States that you couldn't say Merry Christmas to people? Like, I don't understand how that even got started, because I never have received that communicating. Maybe I didn't get the memo, like from my employer at the time. But I remember when I was a pastor, I said, I don't really see any evidence for this. Like, I say Merry Christmas all the time as a pastor in secular, and nobody seems to mind. Like, I don't know where this bullshit came from either. The war against Christmas, no, you guys go practice your Christmas holidays. Go do it. Like, I don't know. So, but yes. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been, I just don't understand where it came from, other than the persecution narrative needed to be found a way to keep going. Like, so what? So, wish there was a satanic Christmas, red pine tree, a red pentagram. Paul, you can do that if you want. Like, if that's the tradition you want in your household, do it. And put Krampus and Bahamut on it. Go ahead. Yeah, they love to gorge on the persecution complex. So, being able to Merry Christmas rather Happy Holidays is feared because it gives equal billing to other religions. And Christians are, yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Like Happy Holidays means I'm acknowledging Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. This is what is there? There's a Muslim holiday, there's Jewish holidays, there's a Christian holiday, there's pagan holidays, all wrapped up into one at the same time of year. And by saying Happy Holidays, they're just giving everybody equal billing. So I don't know. That's probably the only thing I can think of is that Christians don't like it because they want to monopolize it. So Happy Holidays, communist. I've never gotten the connection on that. I've heard other people say that too, with a serious look on their face. Yeah, I think that was probably a lie you were told. I was always told when I was working retail and still to this day, say whatever you want. Like they literally now, like with our vests, you can put pins on them. You can wear whatever. There's a guy today, like he's one of my favorite guys at work. He wore his, stop the religious bullshit shirt today. And it's a cross below it with a negative, slash through it. And I'm like, that's like the most appropriate shirt for today. But yeah, we have all kinds of like freedom of how to express yourself during the holidays. Walmart is kind of open. Like they don't play that game. Like do what you want. Don't be a dick about it, but like just don't. So there you go. But yeah, I've never been told to say, you need to say Happy Holidays instead. That just has never happened, at least as far as I know. So there you go. It's inclusive, that communist indeed. Satanic ugly sweaters. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Paul. Do it and post pictures on the internet. People love it. Do a satanic Christmas. I'm down. Okay, I want to see that. Oh, look, I got some gifted membership. Thanks, Ron. Let's see who got that. Eric Mishna, Anna Stephens, Earl up north. Okay. Amos Elise and Detroit Atheist Queen. There's a good one. Happy to know everybody's listening. But yeah, it's thanks. Those are all pretty good. Pretty good, Ron. Appreciate the gifted membership. So all of you can enjoy your new emojis. Custom made. So we have custom emojis here. And when I get doing videos, all of you members will also get the videos as soon as they're posted instead of having to wait a day or so before they come out. So, but thank you very much. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. Yeah, satanic sweater. I think that would be pretty. It's deer shit instead of bullshit. There you go. Oh. Yeah, that's the problem, Evan. Like it's when you have a predominant religion in a culture, they tend to try to think that it has to all be about them. I mean, this is why we're not supposed to have religious people passing religious laws in a secular society, because it usually ends up becoming about them. Well, honestly, with holidays also being like earmarked by the government, like if like tomorrow, Christmas Day, that you're going to have 75% of the people aren't going to show up to work. They're going to take the day off, whether you give it to them or not. You might as well make it a day off so nobody gets in trouble. Like you're there when something becomes culturally powerful like that. People they make it absolutely about them. And so, but at the same time, there's also the pragmatism of, nobody's showing up to work tomorrow. Okay. And so we might as well just take the day off. So May 1st wants to have a word with you. Oh my gosh. Not to get superstitions. All right. Yeah, being a government today, I just think about secular. Yeah, I get it. But I look at it from a secular, like, why do why do governments give holidays off, certain holidays off, like Christmas, or it's like it's an acknowledgement that most people aren't going to show up, like they're going to stay home. So calling in, you know, religious holidays that vary from state to state, though. Yes, I is saying I have no idea. See that the naming conventions, Eric, they started changing those. Like it used to always be BC or AD for a long time, and then all of a sudden the naming conventions became changed, and that's happened in my lifetime. So scholars have kind of, like, before Common Era, after Common Era, they've changed it. So I don't know. Is it a cultural thing, or did the scholars suddenly realize they needed to pull their scholarship away from religious dogma, and so they changed the naming conventions? So I don't know. Yeah, I have the same debate, Eric. Like, but you're still doing the zero, supposedly the year that Jesus was born. So what is it? You know, I get what you're saying, because it is a criticism I would have. Like, so the Common Era started zero. What reason does it start there? Okay, and you're still following the same popified calendar. So, which is interesting because the popified calendar has pagan deities in it. So, being a federal holiday, just says, yeah, people are just going to take the day off. Like it's the other federal holidays where they wouldn't necessarily take the day off that we scream about, like Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day or whatever. It's more about that, I think. So, but yeah, it's one of those things where I just think it's a pragmatic thing for a lot of these holidays. Like Thanksgiving's the same. Like it's a federal holiday, and it was made a federal holiday by Abraham Lincoln, but to give thanks to God. But that doesn't stop people that most people just aren't going to show up to work for a 4-day weekend. It's a pragmatism thing. So, one would say BCA Day because they're afraid it would slip away, and that means something. Yeah, probably. It's a good cross reference. Yeah. Like, I think they fought that for the same reasons. Like, they don't like happy holidays because it's more inclusive. Like, when you're a religious minded person, you don't want to be inclusive. Like, you want to keep it to your little special club. It's my biggest complaint usually with Christians is like they think they have a monopoly on certain things, and they don't. So, once you start doing that, eventually get to zero. Yeah, I don't want to drive across Texas again. I've done it once. Yeah, I mean, that kind of brings up the question, Kyle. Okay, where do we put the 0 year, or do we put 1? Or do we do like Skyrim and divide things up into ages? First age, second age, third age, fourth age, and what year of that age? You know, would that be more accurate? So, Christianity fans of genocide. Yeah. Besides, I'm Viking in origin, and I think Columbus was about 400 years too late to discover for a European to discover the North American continent. So, yes, how dare people be more inclusive? Skeptic, good to see you. But yeah, it's the whole holiday. I just never got the happy holidays versus Christmas thing, because I never experienced it. Like, people were saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to say Merry Christmas anymore." I'm like, I've worked retail a long time, many years and different times, and I have never been the communicator that I wasn't allowed to say Merry Christmas. Like, I've never seen that. I've never done it. So, the men's here, both Halloween and Christmas have pagan roots, yet Christmas gets a free pass and Halloween doesn't. Why? By their own logic, everybody who celebrates Christmas is going to hell. Yes. That's kind of my thing with it too, Dragon Rider. You're probably still working your way through, but it's like, it's the problem of Christmas is too popular. It has Jesus, a little baby in the manger and all that crap. And so they because there's Jesus in it, they can hang on to it even though it has pagan origins. But Halloween, they can't find a way to get Jesus in there, and so they have to hold on to it, like they have to yell about it being a pagan holiday. So the paganism of the holiday doesn't seem to matter. Okay, that's not what matters. What matters is whether or not they can throw Jesus into the whole thing or not. So, and that's kind of where it is. Year zero should be when rock and rolls. That's a valid point. I don't know. There's a lot of 0 years I would suggest. The beginning of the atomic age or something. It's marked by radiation. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, do we go back and redo the calendars according to different mainstream things that mark like real, true, significant, real events, not like the birth of Jesus? How do we mark those events and get a calendar based on that? I just don't know. From a cultural point of view, I just don't see the current calendar going away. It's a mishmash of so many different religions. So you went down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I go down the queue. I've gone down this hole too. Like I've asked myself, okay, well, if it's not Jesus's birth, where do we mark the calendar from? Like, you know, so there's that. I celebrate as an American, part of whose American culture won. Celebrate the Passover as a cultural Jew, day off or not. I don't celebrate Christmas, day off or no. There you go. Let's just delete Monday. That's a fair point too. And then it would be Tuesday. So. I don't know. I kind of like the moon though. It's Moon's Day, so I'm celebrating the crap out of the commercial aspect. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. That's my point. Like, do you? Monday is just a very early Friday. Okay. Marry whatever gets me through this seasonal conflict so I can enjoy it. Valid, Kyle. Very valid. I mean, I get it. Like, as somebody who, like, my story on Christmas for a long time was doing some sort of special service. Like, when I was in the Assemblies of God, we always had like a special Christmas thing, like with the nativity, the shepherds, the little kids doing their whole thing. And then when I got into being a Congregationalist pastor, I had a candlelight service every year, you know, and on Christmas Eve, and I'd be doing that right now instead of this. Like, it's kind of like literally, this is like literally the time I'd be doing the candlelight service, you know, several years ago. And the issue was never, you know, it was always about getting through the season. So when I deconverted from all that, now I'm like, whatever I need to do to get through, you know. So I live in the South. I say Merry Christmas. I have problems with it. I've had one Jewish friend that told me happy. There you go. See, you know, a Ramadan meal with a Muslim friends. Does that make me a cultural Muslim? Probably not. You know, and that's the thing. I think most people think like us atheists don't like, it's not that I can't have a meal with you on your holiday. I can do that. Like, I don't have a problem with the holidays. It's usually when you try to tell me that I have to believe as you do, whether I believe it or not, then that's when I have a problem. Why do people? So I don't know. That's a pretty cultural. See, I think like if the human race actually advances like science fiction says we're going to, you might see a calendar that's based on the moon landing 1,000 years in the future. So it's possible. You start having your own Ramadan, that could become your culture. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this balance between culture and religion. It's like the only time I really have problems during Christmas is when somebody gets really fundamentalist about the birth of Jesus or their Christmas holiday, or like there's Orthodox Jews I might have a problem with because they don't like my Christian holiday or whatever. And I'm like, nah, I'm not into any of that. But yeah, when I remember when I was first deconverting, I was like, okay, what do I do with the holidays? And now it's like I do this. I stream on the holiday and hang out with my friends, and I hang out with the people I like. So, but there we go. Let's see. I got Earl's still not here, but I will hold out hope. If she doesn't show up, we'll nail her artwork next time. So, she does have stuff happening. So I'm putting up right now. Here, I'm gonna remove me. I think I'm still talking. But this is some of the fan art that's come in over the last couple months. This is from Evan, I believe. So not bad for a sketch. I kind of like the sketching. So that was cool. Fangs and Indeedy. Yeah, this one's from you. Okay, all right. Yeah, I kind of like this one. But yeah, I don't know. Evan, do you sketch like this all the time? Like, is this your thing? Like you just kind of like open up a page thing and just sketch stuff and put stuff in? Is this like what you do? Like, I just want to know, because I like to know about artists when they do stuff. I like to know how they do stuff because it baffles me. But but yes. So I'm so this is some of the Fangs art that's come in now. I think the rest of it might be from Martin. I haven't seen Martin in a bit, but and he's been playing with AI and Fangs. So I just I'm too busy. I like doing this as okay. All right, fair enough. But yeah. But then I think this one's from Martin, trying to portray Earl maybe in a different light, with being the lap in which our Lord naps. And there are two bunnies in this one, so I kind of like this one. And happy Christian. You're trying to cover all the holidays. That's fair. I've told people that in Walmart we entered into the season of Thanksmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all at once, because we have stuff. There's a point where there's still Halloween on the shelf, there's Christmas on the shelf, and there's a Thanksgiving couple of things in one of the action alleys at the same time, and so it's Holly Thanksmas. But yes, the Marilyn Monroe impregnation. Yes, there you go. There you go. Scribbles locations. See, like I am fascinated by those type of artists that just have their sketchbook ready and do that. It's like one of my favorite things. So, and then there's this one. I can't remember the context of the discussion in this one. About Fangs writing. Maybe it was. Oh yeah, it was like an ass had more sense in certain books of the Bible than others. So, but I like this one too. Yeah, it's kind of an Aztec Fangs, but the ears on this Fangs are impressive. Look at that shit. It's possible, but yes. Yeah, but it was like, I appreciate the imagery on this image. Oh yeah, it's the bears, because we have that discussion about the bears killing the kids because of the bald guys, and you had the talking asses, and the only thing that's missing from this is probably a talking snake. So so there you go. But yeah, that's the artwork for that. This is what I have to talk about. Me and Earl have had this long discussion about the nature of Fangs. Okay. You missed my joke? Did I miss a joke? I always miss jokes. What about celebrating moonlight? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I get the reference. There you go. I'm still wondering, like there is a historical thing here, Paul. Like, has there been copulation in space is the question. Because there has been men and women in the same space mission. So, I don't know. Did that happen? Do we have a historical date for that? So, yes, the she-bears. That's what it was. Yes, the she-bears. But yes. But we've had this long running discussion. Like Earl had a very hard time doing Halloween's White Rabbit. Like when I here, let me show you what I mean. Here, I think I still have that somewhere. Yes, this one. Like when Earl did this picture, okay, you can see she was trying to make Fangs scary, and she had a really, really hard time doing it. Okay, so it's one of the things that we've talked about where what do we want Fangs to be about? And we've always made him into this cute trickster god that has a lot of fun. And so, and the fangs are for vegetables, not necessarily for people, but I get the understanding of him being a vampire rabbit. I get it. So, okay, probably. At least one way. Yes, it has happened in space. A husband and wife on the same mission. A book was written. Oh, okay, there we go. So why don't we mark the calendar from that? Okay, good. I'm glad we're taking what we humans do everywhere. But yes, but the vampire part of Fangs, the Christian part of Fangs, yeah. So there you go. Now, I like this one. This one was a great AI image that was sent to me with Fangs. It's very Last Suppery, and I kind of really like that one. But putting in, because I hadn't really thought about it, like when I think what the first book is going to be, the Misadventure, is going to be all Yahweh in the Old Testament. And then I want to do a second book of Misadventures of Fangs that is completely the Gospels. And I'm thinking about how I would do the Last Supper. And I think this is one of those things that we could do that. So, yeah, we're not doing anything new there, Josh. We knew that as soon as we did it, but it was like, our whole point was Fangs removes religious corruption from the vegetables and craps it out. So I am sure there's been a lot of solo stuff in space. Oh, it's beetroot juice? Okay. Okay, I can buy that. There we go. I can buy that. And there's another variation of the same one, so the beets are getting around. But yes, it was all based off Fangs. Of course it was. See, it's like the Last Supper as a way, of doing satire about the Last Supper. Oh gosh, wasn't it Paula Geo just did a one with Jordan Peterson? And he pointed out that Jordan Peterson definitely set up the set to look like he was the centerpiece of Jesus and everybody else was like his disciples. And I can see the imagery. I remember listening to that. And yep. So there you go. But yeah, there's this one. I kind of like this. It's not that I don't like them. It's just Fangs has become more of a mischievous god than a horror god. And that's why I think Earl had such a hard time doing a horror character of him. So yes, Fangs and the 12 heretics. There we go. Beetroot juice. Okay, there we go. But yes, the whole thing was based off Fangs. But yeah. Now this one, I really like this one. This is Fangs with a jacket. And I knew somebody was eventually going to put a jacket on Fangs and put clothing on him. I think we've done a little bit of that, but it's not as common as some of the other ones. So, but yes. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Happy Frode. How you doing, Eric? But yes, but Fangs, some of the fan art from Fangs has also played into the cuteness. I actually like this one a lot. I don't know if Earl's seen this one, but I really like this one because it's very simple, basic, still Fangs or gift. Oh yeah, oh not a problem. You're always you have to Ron from Indian Lake gave you that. Ron So Mark Lee and Jan Davis, really? Yes. All right, there we go. Did you kill her grumpy? There you go. But yes, this one was, yeah, Ron's a good guy. And then there's this one that's similar, a little bit more AI, getting Fangs into a more realistic look. I kind of like this one too. So this is some of the fan art that's come in. I now encourage all of you, if you have any kind of artistic talent or know what somebody does, give me your bunny Fangs art, and I will probably once a month we'll throw it in a stream. So yeah, Ron said, you are so welcome. Very welcome. I don't know. Do I have any more? Yes. This one, this was the one, we were talking about beer and having our own beer. And this was one of the suggestions for the beer label. So anything missing is an Oscott. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, the official churchmen, the higher than percentage of believers. The difference is mostly what I would call cultural Christians. Yes. Yeah, that tends to be, I remember when I was teaching World Geo, that was a hard concept to get across to some of my students about cultural Christianity. Like Europe is very Christian, but a lot of it's more cultural than actual belief. So, and they had, a lot of my students had a hard time with that concept, Michael, that people could just go along with something culturally, even though they didn't believe it. And they said, why would you do that? So root beer would be better. Yeah, I mean, how do we see if I'm going to do root beer, Paul? I'm doing the real stuff. We're going to grab real sassafras root, and we're going to do that way. Like real root beer tastes different than the root beer they put on the shelves. So. All right. But yeah, I think root beer might be better. And this is another one for the beer label. I don't know, Fangs kind of looks like a religious leader in this one. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like. When I was doing Europe for World Geo in Texas, when I was teaching, the problem my kids had the most with Europe was the cultural Christianity, like the fact that a lot of people have official church memberships, like a state religion, that really threw them too. Like they had a problem with understanding state religions and things like that in the first place. So, but they're pretty American kids and they've never had a state religion. So it's not something they relate to. So current and the pressure broke the bottles. Okay. Yeah. You gotta watch that. I had some very real root beer, probably 20 years ago, done by somebody local here that did it right. And it does not taste like root beer in the store. I can tell you that. This might be he's a very religious looking figure, isn't he? He's kind of scary because of the religious element. But yeah, so there's that. Yes, watch out, altar boys. Because I'm Catholic to a large degree than they believe because it's that way. It smelled amazing. Yeah, that's the thing about real root beer. It smells amazing. It's got this really good flavor to it. If you do it right, it's just really way ahead of the root beer they give you in the stores. So it's like the American Coke and European one. Yeah. Let's see. If I had Coke in Europe when I was on the trip with my daughter. Yeah, there was definitely a difference. I don't know which one was better, but yes. I don't know. This one I finally, I don't know. This one kind of made Fangs into a religious leader, and I'm not sure that he takes his religious leadership duties that seriously. But like this one, I don't know. I think he needed a hat. I don't know. We'll have to maybe put a Christmas hat on him. So there you go. And I think that's kind of, that's it for the fan art for this latest time. I think if I was going to pick a winner, I kind of like this one. And I like the Last Supper one, and I definitely like this one with him in the jacket, more cartoony. But yeah, I definitely like the Last Supper one. I thought that one was neat. The carrot juice and the carrots and the fangs. So the fangs jacket looks Australian, does it? Yeah, could be. Definitely an Australian jacket style. But yeah, so there you go. But that's all the fan art I have for now. You're more than welcome to send more. When I get enough more, I'll do it again. You like the one with a horse? I'm not sure it's a horse. There you go. Yeah, that one was pretty cool too. The ears on Fangs, though, are just, it's like, it's like the AI is looking at it and got them mixed up or something. Probably not. No, he would not. Well, he's probably been to Australia. He survives because he's just super fast. And when he wants to be, like all other gods, he can come completely invisible and leave no trace of his existence. So he's like every other god that's ever existed. So that's one of his major superpowers. So he can survive in Australia. He's just not going to show up. Yeah, Fangs has big teeth. He does. But yes, this one's really nice, though. I like this one. And then the Last Supper one, definitely cool. This one's really cool. Kind of combining our cartoon idea with a jacket. And then, but I don't know. This might be the beer label one eventually. But I don't know about this one. Fangs in his old age when he becomes a religious leader. Fangs Manifest has a roo down under. Damn it, internet. Hi, Fred. You missed the fan art. Here, I'll go back to the beginning. I got Evan. And the rest of these are Martin playing around with AI. I love the Last Supper one. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so there you go. We now have Fangs art. I don't know if oh, the harp seal. Oh shoot, hold on. I may have forgotten to put it in, and that's on me. Oh, I have it. I don't know if it'll. There we go. Yeah, the great harp seal. There it is. I had the picture, but I think I forgot to put it in the PowerPoint because I was like working with download images and everything else. But there it is, the great harp seal. Sneal. There you go. With the great harp sneal. There you go. Yeah, that one got to me too. Great piece of art. That's what Evan does. He kind of sketches as a hobby. So there you go. That's it. That's it for now. You're more than welcome to send any other Fangs related art or art in general. I'm always a big one to do on special occasions like this to do art. I don't know where Earl is. She may be busy. I don't know. Like it is the holidays, so I'll let it go. But yeah, that's probably the only thing left on my agenda because I wanted a Fangs nativity scene, but we'll have to. She may be working on that right now and so far deep into her artistic mode that. So there you go. I'll just say, Fangs, what Big D Fang says, all the better to eat you with. Yeah, just, there you go. But yes, that's absolutely true. Yeah, mom goes as mom wills. So, and I told her, like, you know, she's, I don't know how much I want to say. Earl has her ups and downs like everybody else. And those of us that share the autistic trait, the tism, know what we're talking about. So I have always given Earl a tremendous amount of grace because I think she deserves it. But also, yeah, she's probably doing exactly that, working on her craft. I kind of changed the date. Like, I'm not on Thursday this week because I am way too busy tomorrow between family stuff and regular stuff for myself and things like that to do a broadcast. So I'm like, yeah, I got to go on Wednesday. So, and I got to get better at getting these broadcast times out earlier. That's one of my things for the new year, is getting out when I'm going to be streaming a week ahead of time, so everybody kind of knows what's going on. So, so there you go. But yeah, it's Predator drone. Imagine that drone with green and red lights and colors. There you go. There you go. Reaper of Predators. Might be interesting. I have seen like a Darth Vader Christmas tree. I've also seen a Predator based Christmas, but I don't know that I've ever seen somebody do a Reaper one. So there you go. Yeah. But yeah, that's I don't know. That's all I have for this evening, other than anybody who wants to discuss Christmas, like how deconversion in Christmas. I think the only thing I would mention, if you're dealing with family members that want to make a big deal out of it, try to find a way to make it not a big deal. There's also the aspect of, like, if you're coming out of Christianity and you have a hard time with Christian holidays, maybe you need to avoid them. I've told people to do that too. So you do what you need to do in order to get through the holidays. This is not the most difficult holiday for me to get through because there's so many options. Easter, I think, is far more difficult for me as a Christian holiday to get through because there's so much BS in it, and they tend to put it in your face. But other than that, that's kind of where I'm at. So I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. It's been great. It's been a fun time. I don't have any real good Christmas images for you other than the Christmas angel known as the most holy of carrots. So make sure you're circumcising your carrots. So I'm going to call it an evening. I got some presents to wrap for the grandkids, and it's been a good discussion of what everything has been. So I appreciate all of you guys showing up tonight. It's Christmas Eve here in the United States still. Some of you are celebrating Christmas already. So happy holidays. Happy Fangsmas. Merry Fangsmas to all of you. Fangs in his infinite wisdom, So we'll talk to all of you. I think my next stream will be Friday. I was going to double dip on Saturday with Earl's birthday stream and my stream, but I think what I may do is I just may do a Friday stream instead. So I just have one stream a day instead of two in one day. So I may do that instead. I'll let you know. You'll know probably before Christmas is over when that broadcast will be. So I'll see you then. As always, may Fangs nibble on all of your hearts and draw him closer to you. May he purify all of your vegetables of the religious corruption that exist in them. Make sure you check for those fang marks to make sure your vegetables are freed from that. And nom nom and all of that other stuff. Make sure you leave a circumcised carrot on top of your stash. You want to kind of protect your stash from fangs too. It's an important thing. You might want to do that with your gifts this Christmas, this year too. So if you leave gifts out for somebody else, put a circumcised carrot on top, because fangs, that idea of possession and ownership doesn't always register with rabbits. So there you go. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. And as always, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So you want to take all your time, money, opportunities, and all that stuff and give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world, especially at this time of year. People often have a hard time with the holidays. So be on the lookout out for people that are having a hard time and try to boost them up. They would probably greatly appreciate it. As always, guys, thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you next time, probably Friday. I'll see you then. We'll see what we're doing, and I'll let you know. See you then. Have a good one. And Merry Fangsmas to everybody.
It's time to take a stand, bringing the truth to a fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and deceit. We're done for good with the toxicity. Oh, hail, thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. Oh, hail, thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. Oh, hail, thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. We are